Have you ever wondered how a single breakthrough in understanding our legal and ethical framework could transform the future of healthcare? Welcome to Shock Doc Medical, where we dive deep into the heart of medical innovation and the structures that keep our healthcare system safe, ethical, and effective. I'm Dr. Rod, and today we're unpacking some of the most critical, yet often overlooked elements of our healthcare system: legal, regulatory, and ethical considerations. Picture this. You're in a bustling hospital where every decision made, from safeguarding your personal data to ensuring that every procedure is done safely, relies on a complex web of laws and ethical guidelines. Today's episode is a must-listen because we're not only exploring these vital regulations, but also discussing how they impact patient care, protect your information, and even influence the day-to-day decisions of healthcare professionals. We'll cover a range of topics from HIPAA and OSHA regulations to the Stark Law and anti-kickback statute. And later, we'll examine how compliance requirements like accreditation, quality standards, and reporting mandates tie into all of this. So, grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's embark on this enlightening journey together. Let's start with HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Imagine your personal health information as a precious gem. HIPAA is the impenetrable safe that protects it. This federal law establishes national standards to protect sensitive patient information from unauthorized disclosure. It comprises three key components. Privacy rule. This rule sets the standards for safeguarding your protected health information. Security rule. Here, strict safeguards are implemented to secure electronic PHI, ensuring that digital data isn't left vulnerable. Breach notification. And if, God forbid, a breach does occur, there are protocols in place that require prompt reporting of any unauthorized disclosures. Now, you might ask, Dr. Rod, what happens if these rules aren't followed? Well, non-compliance can lead to significant fines and reputational damage for healthcare practices. That's why every facility must enforce stringent policies and technological safeguards. Moving on, let's talk OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. OSHA's role is all about ensuring that the workplace is as safe as possible. In a healthcare setting, this means hazard communication, making sure every team member is aware of the hazards that could affect their safety. Infection control, implementing strict protocols to prevent exposure to infectious diseases. Workplace ergonomics, providing guidelines to reduce the risk of musculoskeletal injuries. Healthcare organizations must conduct regular safety audits, provide comprehensive training, and ensure the correct use of personal protective equipment, PPE, to remain compliant. Imagine having a playbook that every healthcare worker follows to keep the environment safe. That's OSHA in action. Next, we delve into the Stark Law, sometimes called the Physician Self-Referral Law. This law is designed to prevent conflicts of interest by prohibiting physicians from referring patients to services payable by Medicare or Medicaid if there's a financial relationship, unless an exception applies. The law is critical for maintaining unbiased medical decisions and includes prohibition of self-referral. This prevents any potential conflicts that could sway medical judgment. Exceptions and safe harbors, specific scenarios where referrals are permitted under strict conditions. For healthcare practices, this means structuring financial relationships very carefully and continually reviewing contracts to ensure adherence to legal standards. Then we have the anti-kickback statute. This federal law is all about keeping financial incentives in check. It strictly forbids offering, soliciting, or receiving any form of remuneration to induce patient referrals or generate federal healthcare program business. Key points here include prohibition on remuneration. No bribery or financial inducements should influence the referral process. Safe harbors. There are clear exceptions where certain arrangements are considered safe and ethical. This statute ensures that all business practices are transparent and ethical, protecting the integrity of patient care. Compliance requirements, accreditation, quality standards, and reporting. Now let's pivot to compliance requirements. Think of accreditation as the ultimate report card for healthcare organizations. Agencies like the Joint Commission and the National Committee for Quality Assurance, NCQA, evaluate hospitals and clinics against established quality and safety standards. Why is this so important? Credibility and trust. Accreditation enhances credibility, instilling trust among patients and payers. Continuous improvement. It provides a framework for ongoing quality improvement. Financial implications. It can even influence reimbursement rates and eligibility for certain programs. Healthcare practices must constantly update protocols, train their staff, and conduct internal audits to meet these rigorous standards. Closely linked to accreditation are quality standards. These benchmarks cover clinical care, patient safety, and operational performance. They include clinical performance measures, such as monitoring readmission rates and patient outcomes. Safety protocols, for instance, strict infection control and meticulous medication management practices. Adhering to these standards isn't just about passing an inspection, it's about ensuring every patient receives safe, high-quality care. Moreover, reporting mandates require healthcare practices to submit regular data on various metrics, including patient outcomes, safety incidents, and quality measures. This transparency is essential for enhancing accountability, facilitating continuous improvement, ensuring compliance with federal and state regulations. Robust data collection and reporting systems are the backbone of meeting these mandates and avoiding any potential penalties. Ethical considerations, balancing patient care with business objectives. Healthcare isn't just a science, it's also an art, and ethical considerations lie at its core. Providers face the dual mandate of delivering top-notch patient care while maintaining financial sustainability. This balance often presents challenging ethical dilemmas. How do you allocate limited resources between improving patient care and supporting business investments? How do you decide between cost-saving measures and ensuring patient comfort and safety? To navigate these murky waters, several strategies come into play. Transparency. Open communication with patients about their treatment options and associated costs is key. Patient-centered decision-making. Prioritizing clinical effectiveness and patient well-being in every decision. Ethics committees. Many organizations establish internal review boards to oversee and guide ethical decision-making processes. While our discussion today doesn't include specific treatment regimens, imagine a scenario where a patient with severe hypertension might be prescribed a beta blocker like metoprolol. In a controlled study, for example, metoprolol tartrate might be given at 50 milligrams twice daily to manage blood pressure effectively. Although this isn't directly tied to today's regulatory focus, it serves as a reminder that behind every treatment decision lies a framework of ethical and legal considerations that ensure patient safety. Risk mitigation, policies, education, and continuous improvement. Risk mitigation is all about being proactive. Healthcare practices must develop comprehensive policies to ensure full regulatory compliance. These policies encompass several critical areas. Data protection, guidelines to safeguard patient information as mandated by HIPAA, workplace safety, protocols ensuring compliance with OSHA's rigorous standards, financial relationships, clear rules to avoid breaches of the Stark Law and the anti-kickback statute. Implementation of these policies is equally vital. This involves employee education, regular training sessions to keep every staff member updated on regulatory requirements and ethical standards, internal audits, routine checks to monitor compliance and identify any gaps, corrective action plans, procedures in place to promptly address any deficiencies that might arise. Ongoing monitoring and review are essential. Policies must be regularly updated to reflect changes in laws, regulations, and best practices. A dedicated compliance officer or committee often oversees this process, ensuring that the organization remains at the forefront of regulatory adherence. Interactive commentary and expert insights. I'd love to hear from you, our engaged community of medical enthusiasts and professionals. What do you think is the most challenging aspect of balancing ethical patient care with the financial realities of running a healthcare practice? Have you seen firsthand how a robust compliance policy can make or break a hospital's reputation? In conversations with fellow experts, many emphasize that transparency and continuous education are non-negotiable. They argue that regular internal audits and proactive policy updates are the unsung heroes behind every compliant healthcare facility. It's a sentiment that really underscores today's discussion. As we wrap up today's episode, let's recap the key insights. HIPAA, OSHA, Stark Law, and the anti-kickback statute form the cornerstone of our legal framework in healthcare. Compliance requirements like accreditation, quality standards, and reporting mandates ensure that we're not just ticking boxes, but actively providing safe, effective patient care. Ethical considerations and risk mitigation strategies remind us that behind every policy, there's a human story. I invite you all to join the conversation. Share your thoughts, experiences, and questions in the comments or on our social media channels. Your insights make our community stronger and more informed. And before we sign off, here's a teaser for our next episode. We'll be exploring another groundbreaking discovery that could reshape treatment paradigms and further bridge the gap between cutting-edge science and everyday patient care. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thank you for tuning in to Shock Doc Medical. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, take care of yourself.